It's your boy John the Liquidator coming back with breaking news hot off the press. So the WNBPA executives has just released a statement responding back to Kelsey Plum and Breanna Stewart about their lack of communication for us keeping the players involved with these set negotiations. Now, from the outside looking in, man, it don't look like we're going to get any resolution.
6 days. That's all the time left before the WNBA faces something it's never experienced in its 28-year history, a complete player strike. And what you just heard isn't frustration from a random fan. That's coming from content creators who've built their platforms covering this league. When the people who make money talking about the WNBA are this fed up, you know something's gone catastrophically wrong.
Telling us that this thing is about to be resolved in a timely manner, because it's not looking that way. So this is the statement from the WNBPA Executive Committee. They stated, in every CBA negotiation, the goal of the league and teams is to divide the players. These negotiations are no different. We remain united and focused on delivering a transformational CBA for all members of this union and all our
17 months. The WNBA Players Association and the league have been negotiating this collective bargaining agreement for 17 months, and we're now staring down a March 10th deadline with absolutely no resolution in sight. The current CBA expires, and if there's no deal, the players have already voted to authorize a strike, not just talked about it, authorized it. With near unanimous support back in December, this isn't a bluff anymore.
To negotiation for as long as it takes. Our unions nearly unanimous vote in December to authorize us to call a strike, if and when necessary, was not taken lightly. It has made with complete faith and trust in ourselves and our negotiation committee, led by Executive Director Terry Carmichael Jackson and President Anika Agumake, to represent all players as we work to build a W that truly puts players first.
Here's the statement the WNBPA Executive Committee just released, and pay attention to the language here because it's telling. They're directly responding to comments from Kelsey Plum and Breanna Stewart about lack of communication. Quote, in every CBA negotiation, the goal of the league and its owners is to divide the players. These negotiations are no different. That's not diplomatic negotiation speak. That's an accusation. They're saying the league is actively trying to split their unity.
Together, we want to play basketball in 2026. We want to be in front of our fans, playing the game that we love. We will not stop fighting. There is no WNBA without the players. Annie Constable was the one that shared this first. Shout out to her. Let's check out some of these comments. Somebody said the most damage control statement ever, damage control.
But here's where it gets messy. The statement continues. We remain united and focused. Yet two of the league's biggest stars, Plum and Stewart, just publicly questioned whether the negotiation committee is keeping players properly informed. You can't claim unity while your superstars are expressing doubt about the process. That's not unity. That's damage control after cracks started showing.
Over it. Let them strike. I went my whole life with and without the WNBA, and I can go the rest of my life with or without it. I'll miss CC, but the death of the league will only cement her legacy to me. Instead of public statements, they should be giving the players their requested information so they can make an informed decision. I'm over it. What time is left to get everything done is going to be a disaster. Strike or lockout, either one works for me. So judging off some of these comments that has been released.
Look at these fan reactions that dropped immediately after the statement. Most damage control statement ever. Let them strike, I went my whole life without the WNBA. And here's the one that should terrify league executives. The death of the league will only cement Caitlin Clark's legacy to me. Think about that. Fans are already writing the league's obituary, and they're framing a potential collapse as something that would actually help their favorite player's legacy by making her the one who almost saved it.
Point, I don't know if I even want to continue, because I had left to cover like NASCAR, to cover other things, but at this point, is making it very very impossible to cover a league that fans truly don't give nothing about. And I just hate to put it on the fans, but at this point, the fans are the only ones being affected by this.
The core issue destroying these negotiations comes down to one thing: revenue sharing. The WNBPA sent out a survey to players asking if they'd accept the league's proposal of 50% of revenue share, which according to the players translates to less than 15% of gross revenue, locked in for 8 years. 84% of players said no. They want the union to keep negotiating. But here's the problem. They're negotiating over percentages of revenue from a league that, according to multiple reports, has never turned a profit in its entire existence.
But what I'm saying here is a bunch of clueless people that don't know what the hell they're doing. So revenue sharing is going to ultimately be the factor that stop y'all from getting a deal done, basically. That's what I'm picking up on here. WNBA reporter Tarika stated the WNBA executive issued a formal statement to reaffirm that the players are united in their approach to the current CBA.
This is where the credibility gap becomes a canyon. The statement claims, "We are focused, we are resolute, we are together." But if Breanna Stewart and Kelsey Plum, two players on the actual negotiating committee, are publicly saying they're not getting adequate information, then who exactly is together here? These aren't role players complaining. These are all-stars with max contracts who have the most to lose in a work stoppage, and even they're expressing doubt about the process.
Statement from the WNBA committee. Like, this thing here is getting bad and nasty. It's getting very, very, very nasty, bro. And it's just to the point now, the fans are fed up. The fans are fed up. They tired. The content creators are getting tired. We're all getting tired, guys. Can we please get confirmation that we're going to have a league? Because right now, y'all playing. And we ain't got time to be playing, trying to see if Caitlin Clark finna play basketball, bro. Like, my goodness. What is we doing here?
March 10th is the deadline, 6 days away when this statement dropped, and there's no indication from either side that they're even close to a deal. No reports of marathon negotiating sessions, no leaks about potential breakthroughs, nothing, just public statements accusing each other of bad faith while the clock runs out. The players say they want to play basketball in 2025, they want to be in front of their fans, but they also say the current proposal isn't worth taking, and they'll keep fighting as long as it takes.
17 months to figure this shit out. And we're still here twiddling fingers and damn me thumbs over revenue sharing. This is by far the biggest joke in sports history. The little clout that y'all did had is about to be dead. Buried alive, dead. I want to know y'all thoughts down in the comment section right now about all of this. Because me personally, it's getting real hard day in, day out to talk about this. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. It's getting real, real hard, and it's really striking, like really pushing a nerve with me, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. To the point that it ain't about the views, bro. It's about doing content that's enjoyable, fun to cover. It's not fun covering this genre, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. It has not been fun in quite some time. But get down in the comment section. Let me know y'all thoughts about this. Keep them bells on, and I'm going to continue to keep it real.
Here's what makes this situation uniquely catastrophic for the WNBA. This was supposed to be the year everything changed. Caitlin Clark's rookie season brought unprecedented attention. Attendance records shattered across the league. Multiple games drew over 1 million viewers. Expansion teams are paying $50 million just for the right to exist. Corporate sponsors are finally showing real interest. And the players are watching all of this and thinking, if not now, when? If the league can't afford to pay us fairly when we're generating this much buzz, this much media coverage, this much cultural relevance, then when will it ever happen? That's the mindset driving the 84% who rejected the proposal. They're not being unreasonable from their perspective. They're looking at sold-out arenas and record ratings and asking why their share of revenue isn't increasing proportionally. But the league's counter-argument, though they won't say it publicly, is probably something like this. One season of Caitlin Clark doesn't erase 28 years of financial losses. The spike in attention is real, but we don't know if it's sustainable. Locking in revenue-sharing percentages based on one anomalous year could bankrupt franchises if ratings return to pre-Clark levels. They want to see multiple years of growth before committing to higher revenue splits. Both positions have merit. That's what makes this so intractable. The players aren't wrong that their value is higher than ever. The league isn't wrong that 1 year doesn't prove long-term viability, and neither side is willing to budge because both see existential stakes. The players think this is their one chance to secure transformational compensation. The owners think agreeing to demands based on 1 year of hype could destroy the financial model. So we're stuck. 6 days from a strike, 17 months of negotiations, producing nothing but public statements accusing each other of division tactics and bad faith. And the fans, the ones who are supposed to be enjoying this golden era of WNBA basketball, are instead watching it all fall apart in real time. Here's what happens if they don't reach a deal by March 10th. The season doesn't start. Training camps don't open. Free agency freezes. Draft picks can't sign contracts. Caitlin Clark, who just delivered the most-watched WNBA season in history, sits at home instead of building on her Rookie of the Year campaign. Angel Reese, Paige Bueckers if she declares, all the incoming rookies, they're in limbo. The expansion draft for the Golden State Valkyries, which was supposed to be this huge moment showcasing the league's growth, that gets postponed indefinitely. And every day the strike continues, the league loses momentum. Casual fans who tuned in for Caitlin Clark last year, they're not going to wait around. They'll go watch something else. The corporate sponsors who finally started taking the WNBA seriously, they're going to get nervous about associating with a league in labor chaos. The media coverage that finally treated the WNBA as a legitimate sports story that turns into troubled league, can't get out of its own way narratives. This is the absolute worst time for the WNBA to have a work stoppage. Not because work stoppages are ever good, but because this league finally had mainstream momentum. And they're about to squander it, arguing over revenue percentages from a league that's never been profitable. The WNBA statement ends with, "There is no WNBA without the players." That's technically true, but it's also true that there's no WNBA without owners willing to absorb losses year after year to keep franchises operating. And there's no WNBA without fans willing to buy tickets and watch games. And right now, based on those comment sections, the fans are running out of patience. I'm over it. Let them strike. That sentiment is appearing more and more in response to every update about these negotiations. When your fan base starts actively rooting for a work stoppage because they're tired of the drama, you've lost the PR battle completely. Both sides need to understand that they're not just negotiating with each other anymore. They're negotiating against fan apathy, and fan apathy is winning. 6 days left, 17 months wasted, a golden opportunity slipping away, and two sides so entrenched in their positions that neither can see the cliff they're about to drive the entire league off of. The players deserve fair compensation. The league deserves financial stability. The fans deserve to watch basketball. But right now, nobody's getting what they deserve because nobody's willing to compromise. So what happens next? Either someone blinks in the next 6 days and we get a last-minute deal, or the WNBA goes dark just when it was finally starting to shine. And if it's the latter, if we actually get a strike, the damage might be irreversible. You don't get many chances to capture mainstream attention. The WNBA finally got one with Caitlin Clark, and they might be about to waste it arguing over percentages while the whole thing burns down. Tell me in the comments who's being more unreasonable here. The players for demanding higher revenue shares when the league's never been profitable? Or the owners for not capitalizing on unprecedented momentum by investing in the players who created it? Because somebody needs to give ground, and they need to do it fast. 6 days isn't much time to save a league.